Breaking news tonight, a Bexar County deputy shot. A manhunt underway for the gunman. This is video from Chopper 5 above the area where deputies believe the suspect may be hiding. On to at 6, blast going off in that neighborhood there at the scene. This happened about 30 minutes ago. Now, a crew started hearing those loud bangs. The sheriff's office is telling us these are not gunshots, although they sound a lot like them. Deputies call them diversion blasts. People in the neighborhood are being warned to lock their doors and watch out for anyone suspicious. This is an active scene, folks. The deputy was shot and he was trying to serve warrants before 4 on Demya Drive near 410 north of Highway 90. We have live team coverage tonight. Matt Houston is at the hospital where the deputy is in stable condition. Henry Ramos is talking to neighbors, but we start with Sue Kalberg. And Sue, we understand the deputies may not know the whereabouts of the suspect at this time.
That's our understanding. Everyone seems to be remaining on post here on the scene. This is an active scene, as you said. As a matter of fact, just a couple of minutes ago after those blasts, we saw law enforcement officers. We shot some video of law enforcement officers on the roof of a house just 2 doors down here. The sheriff told us initially that there was a main house here that was unoccupied at the time, but all the action took place in a shed in the backyard. We also heard those blasts here that the spokesman said were not gunshots. So we're just waiting and taking a cautionary approach here. As the sheriff says, time is on their hands. They don't need to rush into anything. He says that the suspect that they're looking for is wearing a court-ordered ankle monitor, and that the ankle monitor still appears to be in that shed and still appears to be working, so they believe that the person is still there. It just remains to be seen what kind of condition they're in. So that's what we're waiting to find out here with this ongoing situation on Demya. Live in West San Antonio, Sue Kalberg.
All right, thanks, Sue. Live on Demya tonight. The injured deputy was rushed to University Hospital. That's where Matt Houston is live. Matt, we are hearing that a fellow deputy may have saved this deputy's life.
Yeah, Marvin, and we'll get to that in just a second. But bottom line, and most important here, the deputy is expected to survive. We know that deputies took him to the hospital. We actually watched a couple of other colleagues sort of jog into the trauma center about an hour ago, going to watch over their co-worker. There are still deputies as well as some other law enforcement officials here at University Hospital right now. Sheriff Salazar says the shooter hit this particular deputy somewhere in the upper body when all of this went down. We know that he was wearing a bulletproof vest, but we don't know if the bullet actually went through the vest or if it perhaps went around the vest. We also don't know if the bullet went through a door. But we do know the deputy sustained some sort of gunshot wound. He was shot, and as soon as his colleagues realized that, they created a diversion. They backed off. They threw him in the back of a patrol car and took him to University Hospital themselves. They did not wait for EMS. Sheriff Salazar called that quick thinking. Listen to how he describes his colleagues' work today.
They did a great job. I'm proud of them. The sergeant that returned fire and got his troop out of harm's way, the fellow deputies that were able to just snatch him up, didn't wait for EMS. They got him in a patrol car, did what they needed to do. As I was heading this way to the scene, I could hear them on the radio communicating, and they were just true professionals the whole way. I was proud of them.
So we don't know the severity of the injuries, but it is entirely possible that that quick thinking saved this deputy's life. He is expected to survive the injuries that he sustained. Important to note that Salazar says they're not just relaying this information about that deputy's condition to you and me. They're also trying to get that point across that he will survive, or at least he's expected to survive, to the potential shooter. They think that may help them in the negotiation process. Obviously, we hope that this is good news that we can report and continue to report throughout this incident. Now, live at University Hospital, I'm Matt Houston. Marvin, back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, Matt, for the context, but we are certainly happy the deputy is alive tonight. As we say, deputies in the area where this happening is happening. They're warning residents in that neighborhood where the shooting occurred to stay indoors. That's where we find Henry Ramos. He is continuing our team coverage from the scene there. Henry, what are the neighbors there saying?
Yeah, Marvin, hunkering down, really. Let me just step aside here and show you, just because things have somewhat changed, I really should say have changed from the last time we were here. Now deputies have pushed us even further back from the side that I'm on. We're at Raza Drive and Tarasco Drive. We've seen, as Sue had mentioned off the top of the show, we heard those bangs. We saw the SWAT unit go into the back of an alleyway right back where that brown home is at. But you can see we do not know any developments as to what exactly happened. As Sue mentioned, they had said that there were some kind of tactical devices, but we do not know the word of the condition of the suspect at this point. I will tell you, I've not heard negotiators here. That's something that has changed. We have heard that the CID, the Criminal Investigations Division, they have arrived and they've pushed us back even further to make this crime scene even more extensive. But going back to the residents, Marvin, that I've been talking to here right now for going on 2 hours, a lot of them scared, rightfully so, terrified. I mean, when you see deputies walking around with those long guns, I mean, just walking around in your front yard, and you hear these negotiators and those loudspeakers and the tactical gear. I mean, we had children that were here, and of course we were here within the 4 to 5 o'clock hours. People were getting out of school, coming home from work, and this is what they were greeted to, was that crime scene tape, those flashing lights, those loud bangs that we've been hearing. But residents being told to hunker down, as you mentioned, even told not to even be in the front of their home, to stay back more towards the back of their home. Some, though, brave enough, they're back out here just watching like the rest of us are, trying to hear and see what we can see. We are waiting on an update from the sheriff at any moment just to see where they're at in terms of those negotiations with the suspect at this point. But here at this hour, as we go into the 6 o'clock hour, Marvin, residents still being told to stay away from this area. If you know you've got loved ones heading out here to the west side off 410 and US 90, you want to tell them to avoid it if possible, and be even warned that you probably are not going to be allowed back into your home. But we'll, of course, remain here on scene and keep you updated with the latest. Marvin, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Henry. 3 big takeaways from that. Deputy is alive at the hospital in stable condition. The suspect remains uncaught, and deputies are in that neighborhood continuing to looking for him, asking people to stay in place. Listen, our entire newsroom and all of our crews are working to get you new information on this story as soon as we can. And as soon as we learn more, you will too. Look for updates on air, online, and on the KENS 5 app.